It's the most ridiculous reason. So I just need to apologize right now. I just want to apologize. I'm late. I'm supposed to be here at 4. It's clearly after. I made myself a crisp, refreshing, iced tea because I like ice in my iced tea. I don't make hot tea and and let it get to room temperature and then put ice in it to ice the tea. I drink an established already iced tea drink that is typically warm when received, and I ice it. And I made that, and I was so parched, and I was doing a couple things, and I was like, all right, it's time to go live. Where's my drink? And I didn't remember where I put it. I literally walked around for 15 minutes looking for my drink. I found other cups, not my drink. Kept looking, asking my kids. They were like, I ain't seen it, man. I ain't seen it. Leave me alone. And I was like, please help your father. Please. I'm feeling senile. I'm feeling like the president. Oh, we're going to get to those clips. And then about 16 minutes in, I went, oh yeah, that's right. I put it in that little hidden corner. Why would I ever do that? And I went over and it was in the most, I've never put a drink in the place I put this drink. It's the most obscure place. I don't know why I did it. I truly don't. Sometimes I impress myself with my sheer lack of, why would you do that? Or sheer, why would you do that? So yeah. So my apologies, I'm a little late, but better late than not showing up, right? Isn't that the saying? Pretty sure that's the saying. How's everybody doing? Smoking Blondie's here. Jess, good to see you. Love both of you. Ice in this economy? You're telling me. Just wait until the data centers get a hold of your ice makers, you know? You're gonna be like, I don't remember the ice being tinted brown, but okay. Tastes like smog. That clean smog taste. And then all the billionaires are going to be like that Matt Damon Elysium movie where they're all just living up in a ship because Elon Musk could not get them to Mars or the moon. So they're just going to float in the atmosphere being like, should we go back down to Earth and harvest some more organs so we can keep living? You know, and you're going to see they come down and be like, that one, not that one. Let the AI take that one and that one. We'll come up to the harvesting pod, you know. What's up, Jack Morton? Primal's here. What's up? I put things down. I knew for a fact I would have no shot finding. Thank you for relating, Primal. That makes me feel so much better. I've seen several UFO. DJ Normal Norman. DJ Normal Norman. Wood. That's cool. I had a friend named Norman. And when we were younger, I said, hey, Norman. Because I always got to kick it out of that name. Norman. I believe it originates from the Norsemen. And it was just shortened to, this is Norman. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what it means. But I'll never forget asking my friend Norman in front of a bunch of people. I was like, if there is a bunch of you in a room, do we then use the plural Normen? I thought it was funny. A couple other people did. So anyways, what you do for a living? I do everything. Breathing, a little bit of eating, sometimes sleeping. What do you do for a living? I hope it would be the same. It's a weird question to ask, but all right. Anyways, Primal Screams, thank you for relating to my, I put my drink down and could not find it for 16 minutes. That was awesome. Future me always hates past me. No, come on, Smoke It. That I understand the comedy in that, but that statement hit me right in the dimples of my heart from having too much McDonald's when I was younger. Because no, not all the time. Not all the time. You know, sometimes Future you truly cherishes past you. And let that be a lesson for everybody. You know what I mean? We got a lot of news today. Darth Facebook, if that's what it stands for. Thank you. Thank you, Darth. Appreciate you. And welcome, I'm Rob. I do a show every single weekday. I'm not supported by Peter Thiel like Joe Rogan is. So if you want to support me, you just hit that little button in the corner, unless YouTube moved it. The button I'm talking about is subscribe, then hit notifications to all if you want to become a member. I was trying to do something special for the members today. I wanted to go live before the live, and then I fucking lost my drink. This is the first time I've ever lost a drink. Like, I put it down and just could not find it for almost 20 minutes. I was so disappointed in myself. Very disappointed. I'm coming in a little scrabbled in the brain. You can become a member. You can super chat. You won't hear me doing any advertisements yet. We might be getting there. Because I was thinking about the VPNs, and I used to use one. I'm not going to say which one. But I do like VPNs. I do wholeheartedly like VPNs, and I thought that's an advertisement I would do because I think they are important. But other than that, I'm just supported by viewers like you. Forex, you looking to date Rob? Bro, have you got a girlfriend? Yeah, it's always so weird when these dudes come in here and be like, dudes be like, he's got a wife, too much of my detriment. I love you, Jess. Yeah, it is so weird. Forex, is that how you behave in Joe Rogan's chat? My God. But listen, I got some stunning Mr. Beast audio. This is just how the wealthy operate in this country. They're like, oh, that potentially could be against the law, and it's absolutely considered a creep move. I don't care. I'm doing it. That's what Mr. Beast admitted to today. And like on film, and like thinking it makes him a better boss, capitalist, business owner. I was like, dude, everything you're saying right now is just pushing the envelope to a level of like, ooh, what would you do for a chocolate bar? I'd film you in secret. I don't think that's how that, I think it's what would you do for a Klondike bar? But I was trying to, relate it to Mr. Beast's situation. But long story short, I don't want to tease you too much. He admitted to putting hidden secret cameras in chips bags to film people buying his chocolate bars, which is just so effing creepy. And it doesn't make your chocolate bars taste less shitty. You know what I mean? So we're going to listen to some Mr. Beast audio. But before all that, there is so much Donald Trump has said that is just remarkably dumb. Like at this point, you know how everybody, like when you have a baby, they sell you baby books and you like document the first year of life, or I don't know how long you're supposed to document, but those baby books where they're like baby's first word. I feel like we should have a dementia patient president book where we all get to journal. Like, oh my God, did you hear how stupid this guy is? He just said this. Because at this point, it's like, dude is in Mitch McConnell mental health decline. Like the dude is at that level. Where's my Mitch? There we go. The dude is at this level. You know what I mean? The dude is at this level, and somehow people just act normal around him. Like, I would be hysterically, if I heard a very smart man, right, who claims he's the smartest man and everybody loves him, if I heard him saying half the stuff he did, I would not be able to control my laughter. Like, if I was in the room, I'd be like, did that bitch just say that? Oh, damn! Do that in front of the Apollo, Donald Trump. I think you would, I don't think they'd boo you off the stage. That's what we should do. A night at the Apollo with Donald Trump. Hold on. And I got some very more disturbing Epstein news. Some more Epstein news. More letters. More billionaire Joe Rogan friends with him. It's gross. It's disturbing. And one of these people, she's on YouTube. The email from her to Jeff Epstein, talking about starting his own CIA, his own intelligence agency. This lady's just on YouTube doing podcasts. Michelle Riley. I don't understand how we allow this to happen in society. When I'm off this live stream, I'm going to her comments. I am. I am. Some people call her heroes because she teaches like some bullshit quantum black hole theorems at MIT. I'm like, I don't care what the fuck you teach. Noam Chomsky, you think I've been looking up his stuff anymore? No. As soon as I found out, I was like, no, that's disappointing, homie. We're not talking about Graham Plattner allegations. We're talking about Jeff Epstein. The dude had an island, a Zorro ranch, a whole network, a place in New York. He had a place next to Mar-a-Lago. I mean, this is a worldwide. It goes all the way to the almost top. It goes right to the first lady of the night. Right to Melania. And I think it stops there. I don't know if... Wait a minute. I don't know if Donald Trump... let me see. There couldn't be any photos of Donald Trump and Jeff Epstein, could there? Oh, shit, it goes all the way to the top. Sorry, guys. This Epstein thing does go to the top. You guys were right. Okay, but we're going to play some audio first. I got a ton of it. Talk about Mr. Beast and him admitting to be an absolute freak and not in like a cool way. By the way, did you see what I made for the president? I think we should rename it Tic Tac. He's number one on Tic Tac, folks. Number one. Actually, he's like 124th. He's not even in the top 50, just so everybody knows. And he called the TikTok Tic Tac. So I made this for him. I made this for you, Donnie. For you. So now you can rebrand it. You say, hey, you pervert, Larry Ellison. You big sicko who keeps buying all the media and the social media and keeps buying everything up so we could just have one narrative in America. No free market, no freedom of opinion, no freedom to dissent. You know, I want him to send this to somebody. Clip this, send it to Larry Ellison. Say, change the name from TikTok to Tic Tac. Do it now so he don't look stupid anymore when he keeps calling it Tic Tac. And then I've seen this by a Norwegian artist, Ida something. I'm not going to pronounce that last name. Norwegian artist created this. I live in Maine. Plattner. Wow. Yeah. No, I don't say wow to the Plattner allegations. I understand the harm it's done. I understand who he is from these allegations. I've seen the Political article. I've seen people talk about it, but all I'm saying is, you know, if we got this guy in the White House, those are small beans, man. You know, you don't break a glass and go pick up one shard. You know, you don't smash a wine bottle on the floor and go, all right, I got the cork. I think we're good. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how you do it. If you really want to get rid of this stuff, you set the precedent by the guy at the top. All right, let's go through a few more memes. This one I liked. Because you hear Americans say this all the time. You won't get murked if you just obey. It's not something you say to people in a free country. It's what you say to hostages. That's how most of us are feeling. I wanted to do this quick little throwback. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Does anybody... What's up, Toxic Audrey? Good to see you. Trump Talk. Oh, he would absolutely rename TikTok Tic Tac Trump Talk. What's the best pub in Boston? It depends what you're looking for. I would just say go to the oldest restaurant in Boston. Go to the Union Oyster House. They'll shuck you some oysters upstairs. You can get a beer and the clam chowder. The spoon stands up and it's pretty good. And it's in Faneuil Hall, so you can do all the tourist shit. But what are you gonna go to Charlestown or some part? Will you go to D Street, Southie? Give me a break. Lime. All right, somebody new. Seasoned troll. There we go. Somebody whispers to my heart. LimeWire was dope. You remember that? I remember that. Just so you kids understand something, let me be very clear. We had to wait like 20 minutes for a 5-minute song. Nobody was downloading Stairway to Heaven. Are you kidding me? We didn't have the bandwidth. You know? Incredible times. Incredible times. And the funny thing is I still have a lot of CDs that look like this. I still have a lot of CDs. Just scribbled on. It was totally scribbled on. Napster was a good one. Hey Boston, it's my mom's birthday today. Can you shout her out on her YouTube handle so she can hear you? It's Alpha Cure Mom. Thank you. You're welcome, nobody. Big shout out. How old is she turning? You didn't even say. Or you're not supposed to reveal a woman's age. But you're in the right place, because age, I don't care about age. I care about the character. I care about who you are. You could be 60, I think you're the coolest person. You could be 20, I think you're cool. You could be 35 and an absolute dick, and I don't like you. You know what I mean? I don't care. We had to wait 20 minutes to load a video game in 1982. All right, now that's a little, Atari didn't need to load video games. Come on. We had to go like this into the Nintendo. And then, remember that? Oh, JP. What's up, JP? I got a friend down at JP. One Linkin Park song took 1 hour. And you know that's the truth, because Oscar's saying that. I'm reading that with an emphasis. She's 103 on YouTube. Come on, man. Come on. Are you serious? That's good to hear. Is she American? Because that's good to hear Americans are still living to that age. You know? The Republicans are trying to eradicate anybody saying they could live that long. My family got fancy with cable internet. So you had to be old enough, you know? We didn't have that cable when I was coming up. I bootlegged thousands of MP3 files. Allegedly, in case Metallica's watching. Fuck you, Lars. And Kurt. What's the other one's name? James. And there's one more. Fuck all of you, Metallica. Suing your fans for downloading songs, you bunch of queefs. I hate Metallica. Took forever, but worth it. You're goddamn right it was. We're a bunch of virtual pirates, you know? I had a black and white TV when I was a wee one. You had to change a channel like this. And it was this thick. When the phone rang and AOL went down. Yeah, we've talked about that. The kids these days don't even understand that your internet would drop out. If somebody called you and you were in this hot chat with some 40-year-old guy pretending to be a girl your age, and bling, oh shit, I didn't get their handle, you know? And then the process of getting back on the internet was a series of tones that I'm sure affected all of our ears, which, you know, if there's any law and order in this country anymore, I'm sure we'll see infomercials that be like, did you get any ear damage from dial-up? As soon as my generation gets old enough, there's going to be class action lawsuits against the dial-up ringtones, you know. At least seed something you got. Doesn't have to be everything. What are we seeding? I'm on Winamp right now. About to play Counter-Strike via AOL. Isn't AOL shut down? I know they shut down the AIM Messenger. Oh, torrents. Yeah, some of this conversation is above my pay grade. Let's just say that. All right, and then I want to show you this. Would you ever do this? This is, I guess, the part of America that we've gotten to where some people are rich enough to just go float on a, not a Led Zeppelin, but a fabric Zeppelin, and then they paddle around like, you know, with duck feet. Would anybody ever do this? I saw this and I immediately was like, fuck, I would not spend money on that. I would just never. I don't want to paddle around in the air, and if a stray bird got in there and just flew into that, you would do the biggest face dive and you wouldn't see shit because this would cover you. And you just have duck feet to be like, ah! I'm like, this is one of those things where, like, keep filming this. I hope this gets popular. Keep filming this because I want to see I want to see some crashes. Now, listen, if this became an Olympic sport and people raced around, they'd have to do it inside so they didn't float away. But if this became an Olympic sport, I'd watch it, you know? Or if this became a thing where, like, YouTubers like Logan Paul went up in it and then he allowed all of his crypto zoo holders to come and shoot darts at it, I would watch that. I would watch that. But I would never in my life, you'd never catch me doing this shit. If I had stupid money like that, I'd be on a jet ski. You kidding me? Never do this. Never. All right, Mute says nope. You wouldn't do it. You've got mail. That's a funny one. All right. Well, me and Mute are the only ones that wouldn't do this. I had 3 kids and 1 computer in the 90s and had to learn how to get rid of a virus quickly. I'm pretty sure I just threw some computers away. I'm pretty sure in my college days, I was like, yeah, this one's ruined. Mr. Beast is a PSYOP agent. Oh, Disturbed Radical, good to see you. We are going to get into Mr. Beast. He is filming people secretly in Target, putting his GoPro cameras in Chips Lay's bags. If you didn't think the controversy with Mr. Beast and all the creep stuff he's done before, this just proves that this guy has no decorum. He will do anything to anyone if it gets in his way. And that's not a good quality, okay? For those of you who are like, oh, a savvy businessman. No, I want you to really think about that. He will secretly film you just to make sure his chocolate bars are selling more. And if he'll secretly film you, I'm pretty sure he would secretly kill a man, and Phil Collins would probably write a song about it. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I'm pretty sure that song was about Mr. Beast. Do you remember? Don't worry. Big Brother's watching, and Big Brother sometimes monetizes it, more like always. What's up, Cage? Good to see you. Monastery Sunday. Satan is the Prince of Enlightenment, the true friend and savior of humanity. Let's bow down before him and worship him. That's your opinion. I say Jesus put a whooping on his backside. Jesus beat him in the desert. Jesus kicked his ass out of heaven. He was like, man, you think you ain't going to listen to me? I've told you 3 times to do your dishes, Satan. He was like, I'm not doing them. I'm rebelling. And he was like, poof. You go sit down there for an eternity, So it's all good. It's all good from Diego to the Bay. You can believe what you want to believe. I'll believe what I want to believe. Fed agents do that kind of stuff, secretly filming, etc. Yep. Mr. Beast is 100% Fed coded. 100%. You hear that, Mr. Beast? Anyways, we got to play some audio. I've just been kind of hanging out, kicking it in the comments for too long. I got a show to do, guys. All right, let's prep up. Prep up. All right, your president, not my president, calls a shit Tic Tac. Here, hold on. I got to set the bar with this. This is how we have to start today's show off, okay? As you can see, I believe the fair, I think they closed it down, but it was very full. Fox News was doing live coverage from there. And the funniest thing is when Fox News is complaining about people being too educated. I've never heard that about any American. I've never in my life been like, in any situation, I don't think, and I've been alive for a while. I've never in my life heard anyone from across the pond, from around the world, from inside of America say, you know what America's problem is? Like, we're too educated. I've read things that most Americans have a 6th grade reading level. I've read things about the president has about a 6th grade reading level. I've heard the president. I've just heard him with my own 2 ears and said, oh yeah, that's a moron. I've spoke to people all across this beautiful country. Not beautiful so much in the middle. It's pretty boring there. But where the oceans are. And at no point has anybody been like, the real issue in America is like, we're just a little too educated, reading too much, going to too many colleges, getting too many master's degrees. I've never heard that. Has anybody ever heard that? I love, oh, that's a good time to play this clip. Oh shit, did I not even, hold on. That is a good time to play this clip. If you don't know. If you don't know, even the president was like, no, I do not like the educated. I love
educated. I love the poorly educated.
Yeah, even the president. So Fox News is kind of hearkening to that sentiment, that old throwback. Excuse me. And let me play this clip for you.
The college educated are the problem as well. I'll back you up on that, because if you look at Piker, he's got a lot of degrees. Of course. He spent his whole life in academia, as does Mondami. Right. These are highly educated people who come out with an agenda, and they're trying to make a difference in their 30s.
Who's voting for these socialists? Highly educated. Brian likes to say overeducated. We had a nice gentleman in the audience who said he blames the colleges. They're learning a lot of this in college.
A majority of their votes right now from the most educated folks, some would say maybe over-credentialed educated folks.
Over-credentialed? Over-educated? And do you hear the messaging behind that? They're like, you know who's voting for the stuff that's working? These educated people. They're going to like too many colleges. How are they doing this? We set this up so they couldn't afford to. How many loans do they have? Let's put some pressure on that. This is crazy to hear. But we have to start to show off like that. We have to let you hear Fox News blaming education. Is there anyone? I know there's not many people in the live right now, and if you haven't chatted, feel free now. But seriously, is there anyone that thinks you can get too educated? I mean, just in general. I'm not talking about like it can dull you to common sense, or it can, make you less fun at a party. I'm not talking about like Revenge of the Nerds shit. I'm not talking about 80s John Hughes movies. I'm talking about like seriously, Does anybody believe that Americans could get too educated where then they want to do horrific things like change stuff?
The college educated are the problem as well.
Who says that? All these people with like more than a high school diploma are really becoming an issue.
I'll back you up on that, because if you look at Piker, he's got a lot of degrees. Of course. He spent his whole life in academia.
He spent his whole life in academia. Ah, yes, because usually the most revered people are the people who dropped out in 8th grade like Tim Pool and fucking say stuff that is just worthy of Russian money.
As does Mondami. Right. These are highly educated people who come out with an agenda, and they're trying to make a difference in their...
Trying to make a difference. How dare you spend a life in academia, learn about the past, learn about things that didn't work, and then you come and try and make a difference? That's what Butt Gutfeld, or whatever his name is. I don't know. Butt something? I think his name's Butt. Last name Hole. Butt Hole. Back to you, Butt. These people get too educated and try to make a difference. I seriously want you to consider that before we get into any other audio, because I'm going to show you how stupid some of these motherfuckers are. And I don't mean to curse, but I do, because I need the emphasis on stupid motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, there's a heavy emphasis on stupid and motherfuckers. Because when you hear this president, if immediately alarm bells and red flags don't go off, like, oh shit, he's not polished at all. This dude's on a world stage barking that song? Girl. Go back and practice in the mirror, And you're one of these, like, hanger-ons, like, oh, just let me sniff the panties until it smells wonderful, sir. Wonderful, sir. You part of the issue. You part of the issue. Comprehende? All right. Virtual reality for me. We don't need doctors. That's one of my favorite things ever. That is one of my favorite things ever. Joe Rogan is like, oh, you're listening to doctors? Really? Well, I know a pretty cool horse veterinarian that gave me some better advice. It's like, Joe, you're listening to doctors too, bro. I don't know. How'd you find out about ivermectin? Just the internet? Really? You weren't calling all your local horse shelters being like, listen, man, I gotta get something that's fucking not gonna be knocking me out, man. Can you take it in a suppository? You know, I love these people. I don't listen to the mainstream doctors. I like to go off the beaten path. People with questionable degrees, maybe coming from other countries. You know, he said in El Salvador, he was a doctor. How am I going to check that shit? You know? I love it. Atrophy? Atrophy to what? What are they talking about? I can't play this song. Go listen to Ego Atrophy by Jesse Reyes. Great song. Do voodoo doctors count? Yes. Mute, I really like you. Have you been here before? Please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Mute, come back. I like this dialogue we're sharing. I really do. Do voodoo doctors count? Technically, I think they're covered if you have an HBO plan. I'm pretty sure if you have an HMO HBO, pretty sure there's a high deductible, but you can go see a voodoo doctor. First time? Oh, you're quickly becoming a favorite, right up along with everybody else that comes in here all the time. Because I can't pick favorites, but it's good dialogue. So please hit subscribe. Just give me ivermectin for everything. That's what it became, you know. And listen, if you talk to the people who believe in it and who live by it, you know, they'll tell you. And I just don't give a fuck. But I think it's funny. The only reason I bring up the ivermectin thing is because, like, Joe Rogan, I was listening to some of his stuff. He was having these infectious disease doctors on, and these highly educated people who did not disagree or who did not agree with Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan was trying to, at the beginning of the pandemic, he was trying to push the narrative that his sauna, his fucking sauna killed all the germs in the hot air, and he would breathe in hot air and kill all the germs, which is very chef's kiss and fucking, like, that is a very Joe Rogan science fact, you know. Like, even to me, I'm like, I don't know, that sounds a little stupid, but okay, you know, let's run with it, Joe. And he was talking to these like highly academic, fucking gave my life to science people, and they were like, that's just not true. And he was like, are you sure? Because a guy of mine that saw a TikTok that was referencing something, you know, and it was like that. It was like 8 degrees from, I think I heard it from Kevin Bacon. And they were just like, no, man. Like, if that was true, I'm pretty sure we'd just have saunas everywhere and be like, all right, just make sure you're half an hour in the sauna every day, folks. Kill all the germs inside of you. It's at the level, Joe Rogan, go into a sauna to kill all the germs, is at Donald Trump, can we spray bleach inside of you level. You know, like, I guess in like make-believe world, if you're entertaining a group of toddlers and you said that and they all knew you were sarcastic, like, yeah, it's good, fun entertainment. But in no fucking, in no realm are people like, I wonder if we could Clorox the inside of our lungs. I wonder if we would, like a nose spray. Are you saying, Mr. Trump, are you saying like a Clorox nose spray? Brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, this is just maroon fucking territory. But I bring up the ivermectin and Joe Rogan because I watched him fall down that rabbit hole. I watched him get embarrassed on his own show thinking like, oh, my sauna kills all the germs. And then I watched him before that say like, oh, it makes sense to wear a mask because masks are what doctors wear when they need to protect themselves from germs in surgery, in hospitals, in doctors' offices. And then I watched Joe Rogan slowly kept getting embarrassed in front of actual scientists, just like when he has real comedians on. And that kind of ego bruising for Joe Rogan, he could not stand. So instead of being like, you know what, sometimes you're wrong and sometimes you're right, and we're learning here. That's what we're doing. Instead of embracing that, Joe Rogan took a hard turn. He was like, all right, all you motherfuckers that are going to tell me that I'm not a smart boy, that's it. I'm going to find a guy who's going to find me something that's going to make everybody question everything. Oh, and he did. Completely funded by Teeter Peels, I believe that's his name. Teeter Peels, Spotify. Couple $100 million from old billionaire Teeter Peel. Maybe pronounced wrong, but it's unimportant at this point. Our society is what rewards the behaviors, yeah. change how society operates, and the problem of people being pawns goes away. It's also our society what punishes behaviors, you know? Imagine if instead of addicts getting put in jail, well, actually, I'm not going to imagine, because I think at this point we are putting cancer patients in jail, you know? Like they can't afford their bill and they're tossed out into the street, and the police are like, hey, no vagrants around here, you hobo. Get your bean can and get on the fucking Hobo Express. You know, why don't you go down to the rail station? And they're like, sir, please, I can't move. And they're like, that's it. You're resisting, and they lock them up. So, I mean, we really are a demented society here in America. Billionaires are doing, what's up, Arrow? Billionaires are doing press tours promoting detention centers, data centers, and digital surveillance, while Trump puts Antifa on a watch list. Yeah. No, it's totally demented. And my favorite thing about that comment, then we're going to get to some, I'll play this again, and then we're going to get to some of the comments of why Fox News wants you stupid as fuck. Like, there's a reason behind Fox News, like, being like, you know what the real issue is, you at home that, you know, aren't educated. The real issue is the educated. And don't ever forget that. Books are poison. They'll kill your mind, you know. But the crazy thing, Arrow, is about your comment, billionaires doing these press tours. They're doing press tours like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I don't think Zuckerberg's been in the limelight too often. But you see a lot of these billionaires going freely into the press and being like, AI is going to make your life awesome. I know we fear-mongered about socialism and UBI, but guess what? AI is doing all of it. AI is the socialist utopia, communist UBI, one-day work week, paid vacation, paid parental leave for everyone. Like, that's what they're doing. You know, they're glamorizing this thing that they know they're the only ones profiting off of, that there's not a shot in hell AI is ever going to, like, make your life better. Like, the people who coded AI were like, and one thing, the proletariat must suffer. And they were like, and that cannot be overridden. You know, like, that is one thing that they coded into AI to ensure that you never, ever experience any kind of fucking, like, future alleviation of the oppressive tactics they've manufactured into society. There will be no alleviate. They will not alleviate any of the stuff they've implemented into your life. And it's funny to hear them say, like, Elon Musk is like, dude, we're all going to be rich. Once AI hits that peak spot, like, everybody's just going to be me. We're all going to have too much food and too much money. And it's like, really? So the thing that everybody's laying people off for, the thing that has cost, I don't even know how many jobs, the thing that is polluting our water, jumping our electric bills up, fucking taking land, making home values go worse. Like, this absolute horrific thing that can maybe make a, you know, like a, I don't know, like a weird image that you just thought of, you know. You're like, what if Bill Cosby was a cat? You know, like something like that. Like that's like the maximum efficiency that AI gives us. You know, you read the other horror stories, like it led a man to his own death. And you're like, how? How did you have to engage with it? Anybody read these stories where they're like, an AI tricked him into murking himself? And you're like, put the fucking phone down, dude. What are you doing? Like, we're not at the point where, like, the AI popped little legs out of the phone and was like, get back here. Don't you dare hang up on me. You know, it's like at any point, you could just be like, no, I don't know what's going on with this relationship, but this is not healthy. But it's just amazing when you can watch in real time all the suffering AI brings, and then turn on the news and there's Jeff Bezos being like, listen, AI is going to be the greatest thing for you. Not me. I'm not going to benefit from it whatsoever. But you know, all of you people I just laid off for the AI, it's gonna give you a bunch of money. I promise. It's like, well, how about you just give us the money now? Maybe we'll start to like AI. You know? Watch people's actions and then act accordingly. Anyways. My pants are riding up. Conservatives support principle and law? Are you fucking high? Who said that? Dude. What principle and law is involved in this shit. And I got Epstein stuff. We got audio to get to. We have Mr. Beast to get to. And I got new Epstein, hot off the presses, goss for you. I love when these people are like, we're conservatives. We believe in order. And I'm like, what kind of order? Ordering a fucking underage female bride from Jeff Epstein? Like, what order are you talking about, sir? Or ma'am? You know, the most order you believe in is like, please don't confuse the bathroom signs. I don't know where to pee. I love these motherfuckers. You guys are hilarious. I love when you come in here chirping some fucking game like, you know, we're the ones that believe in a man and a woman. And I'm like, you mean a man and a fucking order of women? In order? You know what? Let's talk a little Epstein stuff because, you know, that chode decided to do it. Because whenever somebody comes in here barking, and I'm sure that guy will disappear. I'm sure he can't tolerate this, you know. He was saying, fuck your feelings just a short few 4 years ago, you know. He was out there with his Let's Go Brandon t-shirt, Epstein didn't murk himself, all that shit. And all of a sudden I pop this photo up and I'm like, well. Why don't we talk about Joe Rogan, Elon Musk's, one of Donald Trump's close friends, Petey Thiel, or TD Peel. TD Peel. You've seen him here, probably on a microphone, talking about the Antichrist, which is ironic because he was sitting next to this fucking dude at some point. While Palantir gobbled up, weird use of words there, gobbled up UK government contracts, Epstein co-owned venture capital fund with Palantir's Petey Thiel. Now, if you remember, Petey Thiel was on Joe Rogan, and Joe foolishly asked him. He was like, oh, you knew Epstein, but that was like before the arrest? And Peter Thiel's like, oh, fuck, we should have went over this before we started talking. No, it was actually, it was post-arrest. Like, I knew all the crimes and everything. I liked the guy. I don't know what the fuck he said, because he's not a good talk. He's not a smooth talker. But this stuff is remarkable, you know. This is the conservative circle. Don't get it wrong. This ain't some fucking leftist right here. Peter Thiel's not a leftist, man. He's not advocating for socialism for all. He's not advocating for UBI or healthcare for all or healthcare's a right. You know, this is the MAGA man, Joe Rogan's main man, the big funder. And what's funny enough is I don't know what this capital fund was funding, but who knows? Because we all know Palantir's Teeter Peel funded Spotify, early investor. Spotify paid Joe Rogan. All of a sudden, Joe Rogan started having Peter Thiel and friends in studio. So, I mean, I'm not the one who says there's no such thing as coincidences, though I do. But that's a big coinky dink. You know what I mean? All these boys hanging out togethers. All these boys hanging out together. Where is my Jeff Epstein? Okay, Jeff Epstein co-owned a venture capital fund controlled by Petey Thiel, founder of spy tech firm Palantir, which is now deeply embedded in the British state. The latest Epstein file drop from the U.S. Ministry of Justice, we don't have a Ministry of Justice, what are you talking about? Shows that the billionaire Thiel maintained a business relationship with Epstein from 2014 to the pedophiles. Final arrest in 2019. Final arrest. So he started becoming friends in 2014 after the first arrest. Exchanges between Thiel and Epstein on email, repeatedly arranging to meet with them after the latter's conviction for child offenses and cultivating a relationship with scheduled meals, calls, and link-ups. Co-owner of Thiel's firm Valor Ventures. Valor. He spelled it wrong. There's an O in that, but it's probably like, you know, some fucking nerd movie or something. It's so funny. He would call it Valor. A venture capital fund co-founded by Thiel to invest in fintech and financial services company around the world. Epstein received confidential and time-sensitive investment opportunities according to the latest file release. Palantir holds more than $670 million in UK government contracts. Ooh, get them out of the government. And NHS patient data. Palantir hired Mandelson's lobbying firm, Global Counsel, to help it secure UK government contracts. Yeah. We know they are all over every government in the world. We understand. But I'm sure that dude who is saying us conservatives believe in order and things, just wasn't considering who the fuck the conservative circles are. You know what I mean? And the Democratic ones. I don't give a fuck. I ain't a Democrat either. I'm radical because I believe healthcare is a human right, housing is a human right, and that you should have food and water. Shouldn't be extorted for it. Some guy at the top of some MLM pyramid scheme called a grocery store should be at the top of that shit because you need to eat, because your birthright was I need food to live, Anyways. And now we're going to get into the trigger warning. We'll get into Mr. Beast. I'm going to play the audio for you today. This fucking guy. This fucking guy, man. This fucking guy. But first, I want to get into, I just want to mention, don't forget, it's now called TikTok. I should do a change.org and say, Larry Ellison, can you please change TikTok to TikTok? We're begging you, man. We're fucking begging you. The president keeps calling it TikTok, and I don't want him to be this highly embarrassed. Once he finds out it's called TikTok, and it's always been called TikTok, I'm pretty sure this guy's going to be embarrassed. Just kidding. He has no shame. All right, now let me introduce you to this dumb bitch. Michelle Riley, seen here being lauded as a hero because she teaches at MIT. I don't know. That's a stupid photo. Let me just say that. Oh, pondering deep in thought. Look at me. I'm Socrates. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I have no sympathies for these Epstein associates. None whatsoever. All of them. Before you jump into the comments and say Bill Clinton in a blue dress. I don't give a fuck. Put them all in prison. All of them. You understand me? Here she is on YouTube. She's got a whole YouTube channel. You can just look up Michelle Riley for yourself and see her uploading current podcasts with just the luminaries of our day. I love how Fox News is saying, you know what the problem with America is? There's too many smart people. But you don't see fucking Joe Rogan being like, here's my pal who dropped out in 5th grade. He lays concrete for a living and he gets in a lot of street fights. People aren't watching that shit. I'm sorry, Joe Rogan is not Fox News. You know when Joe Rogan's popular because he keeps having CIA fucking operatives on his show being like, I don't think the CIA did that. And everyone's like, well, he was in the CIA, so he must be honest. Like Joe Rogan isn't like highlighting the fucking soft white underbelly of the world as these like projected luminaries that he really needs to talk about flat earth with. It's so amazing how stupid Americans are. And not all of us. I know there's some of you out there, sounding your words out and trying to learn to read, but the rest of you, I'm talking to you. Don't get mad. This is a sarcasm channel. Jesus Christ. I liked America when they were saying, fuck your feelings, and I could do this kind of thing. Now all you conservatives have gone soft. Anyways, this bitch, Michelle Riley, I'm about to show you her emails to Epstein, and you'll understand why I call her a bitch. For all of you who are like, oh, don't use that language. No, this is a bitch. She's a bitch. And no disrespect to the female dogs out there. Seriously. I'm using it as in like the early 90s derogatory misogynistic way towards women kind of hip-hop. That's how I'm using it. I'm not using it like a female dog. I want to be very clear, because I don't want anyone thinking I would disrespect the dog. I wouldn't. But this bitch right here who's emailing Jeff Epstein, I'm about to show you, she's on YouTube. Freely fucking on YouTube. Like she didn't suggest to Jeff Epstein island orgies and start your own intelligence agency. What kind of perverted muse are you, ma'am? You have Epstein's ear and you're like, oh, how would you start an intelligence agency to compromise more things and have world influence? Like, what kind of demented, sick are you? Let's read her emails. You can see up here at the top, from Michelle Riley to Jeffrey E. Thanks, Jeff. Yes, for fun projects.
I think we're mostly starving for great conspiracies today. 10 to 12 person coordinated secrets. What about a new Rosicrucianism of sorts? A Jejane Institute, excuse me, styled blurred reality fiction negging of your enemies would be pretty darn fun. What are your thoughts on funding and constructing your own intelligence agency? You know, just for fun, what do you think about constructing your own intelligence agency for anybody who dare come up against you? We could subvert their narrative very quickly. That's what she's using her big brain for. If this bitch teaches at MIT, I'm assuming she's smart. You know, I know Lex Friedman claims he taught at MIT, but let me just get out this very, very clear. Lex Friedman is a Drexel man. He taught an after hours unfucking credited like lecture that I could sign up and do. I could sign up and teach at MIT, and you're not going to see me change my whole LinkedIn and erase Drexel from my history and then start a podcast and be like wearing a too tight suit that I look like I got from a fucking secondhand store in Alabama. Like, you ain't going to see me pawning myself off as the new Goodwill Hunting because I taught a fucking uncredited after hours fucking optional no attendance necessary lecture once. That's what Lex Friedman did, just so you know. Lex Friedman isn't Michelle Riley. Michelle Riley is lauded as an MIT fucking teacher. And she's got all that brain, and she's coming off like a fucking backdoor slut from fucking, you know, Tallahassee. Jesus Christ, dude. That's upsetting. What a waste of a beautiful mind. I'll read some more. Oh shit. I'm so sorry. The chat was paused. I'm so sorry. Only One Earth 3. I would change that to 1. Hi, how are you? Welcome, I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm here every day. Convincing a criminal that he should spend Wexler's money on intelligence gathering. Toxic Audrey, Rob, LOL. Thank you, Toxic. I appreciate you. I appreciate the LOLs, folks. That warms my heart in these trying times. Okay? I get all my suits. Charlie Kelly's here. God bless you, Charlie Kelly. Hold on, my pants are riding up. God damn. I might just take them off. You guys wouldn't know. Ugh. Good God, man. Cast Iron Kitty, what's up? Good to see you. Long time. Charlie Kelly. I get all my suits from Alabama. What is that? What is it? Not an Alabama tuxedo. It's a Canadian tuxedo. All dungaree. All dungaree, head to toe. If you didn't know, now you know. Hit subscribe. I teach stuff like that. I'm like the poor man's Lex Friedman. I'm like, I'm not going to pretend I taught at MIT, but I can teach you what a Canadian tuxedo is. What's up, Troll Slayer? Good to see everybody. All right, now that most of the mods are here. Mods, please don't kick anybody out. Just let them be, unless they say slur. Thank you. Disturb Radical. Government was created to control the people and govern their mental. Hence, governmental. It's always been there controlling the masses and their thoughts. I like that. I like, Disturb Radical, you should start a whole late night. Like, remember, so when I was growing up, there used to be radio shows, and at like 2 a.m. on Sundays, they'd be like, and now welcome to the Paranormal Hour, where we talk about UFOs and ghosts. You know, it'd be on like 1 hour because they couldn't sell any ads on it. You should start something like that on, leave me alone, mods. Yeah, do not mute Disturb Radical. I'll put that out there. He's just throwing out fun facts, and I love that. I love that. Okay, let's continue reading Michelle Riley's email because it gets worse. Like any decent trader, you should estimate various lags, regime changes to seek relevant trends, whatever they're talking about, And then she says, high-profile island orgies also independently come to mind, but I have a strong suspicion that you may already have that covered. Fraternal regards from one Coney Island baby to another. I'll read down here too, but I just want you to think about what this dumb bitch said. Let me show you. She's on YouTube. Michelle Riley on YouTube. She's not out, like, she's not out of line of sight, folks. Like, this lady is uploading shit to YouTube. This is what blows my mind. America has gotten so complacent with these perverts being like, hey, what about starting an intelligence agency for anybody who raises their voice at us, you know? We just totally subdue them with your wealth. And by the way, island orgies, great idea, but I'm pretty sure you got that covered, don't you? Like, she's full in the know. She knew what was going on. That's in the email. And she's saying to him, you know how we keep everybody quiet? Start your own intelligence agency. We gather shit on them and then just use it against them for anybody dare speak out against you. That's in her email. That's in her email to Jeff Epstein. This bitch who's on YouTube. She's out in the public. I'm going to her comment section after this. I'm going to say, saw your email to Jeff. Thoughts changed since? America's a failed state, if and only if, for this one thing. The fact that they don't even investigate these people. Never mind lock them up. Never mind lock them up. This bitch ain't been talked to by nobody. She's out here on YouTube like, ooh, I'm trying to get my grind on. That MIT dough ain't going to be as sweet as my Mr. Beast money, baby. I don't know what you think about her looks on the outside, but if you could see her inside, it looked like some fucking person, you know. I don't even think I could say it on YouTube. How would I say that? I'm not going to try. I've had all my videos demonetized this week. I'm going to give that one a rest. Okay, let's finish her email. I'd appreciate if you both take a moment and list what you and I should pay attention to. People, etc., mathematicians, institute models, cures. Oh, how noble. A network of media people can be used to efficiently place and coordinate friendly items in our compass, in our corrupt, I can't read that, opinion market, or that may be used to keep opposing parties in check. Psychedelic retreats, which if you just heard that, psychedelic retreats sounds awesome until you realize this is a Jeff Epstein email. Psychedelic retreats for groups of select individuals with the explicit goal to create a tightly knit but disentrenched group of individuals capable of radically rethinking and influencing global affairs. You know, that's one where I'm kind of like, not a totally bad idea. What psychedelics are you talking about? Psilocybin? Because if you're talking about a bunch of cool people that already haven't been corrupted and greed driven by money, and they're taking a bunch of psilocybin, like the people I know who've done that, I'm pretty sure they're just going to come up with a stateless, classless, moneyless society where, you know, to each their own needs. I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with like what Jesus said. They were like, you know, man, if like you're born needing to eat and drink, you should just be guaranteed that so you could live. I'm pretty sure that's what would happen. This is not what these people are trying to organize. A cryptographical secure social network for highly relevant individuals. These people are classes to the max. They're class maxing. A news agency specifically designed to amplify signal in the noise and to eliminate opinion bias as far as possible. Oh, it's just Fox News. There are some more that I do not want to put into email. Ooh, God, hot damn summer in the city. Now, that wasn't from her. That was from Jocha Bosch. But this bitch is, you know, she's on the email. She's on the email. I can't believe this bitch is out in the open showing her face. She don't look like, what's his name? Guy Fawkes, you know? If I was this bitch and I knew I was emailing Jeff Epstein, hey man, you ever considered island orgies? I'm pretty sure you got that covered though, right? If that was in an email, I would be wearing a Guy Fawkes mask doing a fucking YouTube podcast. This is unreal, but this is how entitled these these people are. These people are so entitled, so privileged, so living boy in a bubble life that they're like, yeah, I'm just going to do a podcast on YouTube right now. I don't know. What are people going to do? Say something to me? They know who I taught at MIT. How do you think Lex Friedman walked into the fucking upper echelon of society? He was like, I once taught an uncredited, nobody had to attend class at MIT. Don't pay attention to my Drexel history. You know? He's a fraud. And this lady isn't a fraud. This lady is like an astute fucking academician. And she used all that brain power to be like, how could we corrupt the world a little more, Jeff? We're going to get to Mr. Beast, don't worry. Some dude mouthed off about conservatives being the ones of law and order. And I was like, oh, the conservatives that are hiding the Epstein files right now? Oh, okay. We'll do that story. We'll talk about how Peter Thiel had fucking venture funds with Epstein. And then we'll talk about this lady who's writing Epstein to be like, you know what's a good idea? Starting your own CIA. Have you ever considered that? I know you do the island orgies, but, you know, has anybody ever mentioned your own CIA? The Epstein CIA. Anybody? I love how these people think they're so smart, too. You know? Like, come up with something new, man. We already have an intelligence agency. Well, maybe that's what AI is. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe this is Epstein's grand plan. You know, and they're all the billionaires are doing the AI data centers for their best friend's one final wish. They were like, Epstein really wanted to see the robots come to life, man, so we could just enslave the humans. So we got to work on that for him. But everybody just say it's going to bring UBI and unlimited awesomeness. Everybody's like, pinky promise. I gotcha. We'll all go on different news networks owned by one billionaire. That's the sad part. It's like, I'm trying to make jokes about this, but every joke I make is like kind of fucking rooted in truth here. Ugh. All right, don't forget it's called Tic Tac now, folks. The president has renamed it. It's called Tic Tac, so don't fuck that up. Don't fuck that up. He's going to be very embarrassed if he finds out it's called Tic Tac. You know, this guy right here, he's going to be so embarrassed. He's not embarrassed about his foundation, you know, not going all the way to his eyeballs. Looks like he's wearing pale glasses. But he would be embarrassed. So let's not make this man have any more shame than the shame of an 80-year-old who has to poop in a diaper. You know, I think that should be enough shame. All right, I'm play this again because now I got to play some news for you. Because we got totally deterred. We got derailed by that one guy who probably came in the comments and left because he was like, oh shit, I'm about to get dunked on. I'm about to make this live stream look like Shaquille O'Neal in the fucking mid-90s.
I'll say this, that the college educated are the problem as well. I'll back you up.
I will not back you up, and I will fight both of you, but I can't because I'm only trained to fight 20 people at once, so it wouldn't be fair.
On that, because if you look at Piker, he's got a lot of degrees. Of course. He spent his whole life in academia, as does Mondami. Right. These are highly educated people who come out with an agenda, and they're trying to make a difference in their 30s.
These are really smart people, and they're like trying to make a difference. How dare they? Do they not know how we make money? We say, your life should be shittier. You should suffer a little more. No differences. The only difference is we get richer. Do you hear what these people believe them when they tell you who they are? We'll play some more.
Who's voting for these socialists? Highly educated. Brian likes to say overeducated. We had a nice gentleman in the audience who...
Overeducated. There's no one in America overeducated. I love that, like, the thing they're trying to make you think is bad. They're like, these are like book readers. No, they're not watching Duck Dynasty repeats. They're reading. Ugh. My God. Probably playing Wordle with their friends. These are not, no, they're not. They're not watching Duck Dynasty. They're not watching, what was that other one with that really fat, what was that fat, hold on, I don't have the reference. Fat reality star. That should be good enough. No, not My Big Fat Fabulous Life. You know, the fat white trash reality star. That's what I needed in there. White trash reality star. Honey Boo Boo. That's what I was thinking of. Honey Boo Boo. Does anybody remember Honey Boo Boo? Honey Boo Boo. These, when Fox News is saying shit like this.
Socialists, highly educated. Brian likes to say overeducated. We had a nice gentleman in the audience who said he blames the colleges. They're learning a lot of this in college.
They're learning in college. No, there's no class on Honey Boo Boo. There's no class on Duck Dynasty. There is no keeping up with the Kardashians. There's none of that. There's no 23 and counting, those pervert Mormons or whatever they are. I don't know what they are. Baptists? There's no Billy Bob Duggars. You know, they're not watching that. They're reading and learning. I gotta get on Fox News. I gotta get on Fox News. I'll be like, yeah, how dare they? Anyways, coming up next, folks, is reruns of Honey Boo Boo. Sit back and stuff your face with cheesy poofs.
Majority of their votes right now from the most educated folks, some would say maybe over-credentialed.
Over-credentialed? You're a black man. You shouldn't be saying shit like that. Oh, you goddamn Uncle Tom.
Educated folks.
I can't believe that. And I play that for you specifically because now we got some audio of the goddamn president. You see him here with his best friend, Jeff Epstein. He's a very sad boy ever since his friend died. Or he orchestrated a hit on. Sorry, something in my throat. Something in my throat. Just came out saying, like, he orchestrated a hit on it. I'm so sorry about that. That was weird. That doesn't normally happen. My apologies. All right, we got some presidential audio. Are you ready for presidential audio? I don't think you are, bitches. This is at NATO. Front of the world. Front of the whole world is watching, baby. Show us some presidential fucking statements. I love this. Oh, and don't forget, this is Donald Trump who's talking, Jeff Epstein's best friend. And he is a man who will proudly tell you that he aced the dementia exam.
It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark.
Perfect mark. Nothing wrong with his brain. All right, President, let's hear what you have to say.
An oil glut right now because we got all those votes out of the string. And it's going to drop, and I predicted everything. I've been right about everything, and I have been for a long time. Oil glut right now because we got all those votes out of the string. And it's going to drop, and I predicted everything.
I just want to pause it here. I would always be weary of anybody who tells you, I've predicted everything, I've always been right. You know? Like, I want to put you in a position of you're going to a tarot reader or a crystal ball reader, or you're going to a soothsayer, or you're going to find the three muses, or you're just on some venture to see Thoth and see if you can weigh your soul against the feather. I don't know what you do on your weekends, and I don't care to know. But here's the thing. If you went to somebody who was like, I could read your palm, and you were like, all right, and they were like, I've never been wrong, I'm always right. Immediately you'd be like, I don't know, maybe I want to see somebody who's, you know, just not claiming to have 100% accuracy with everything. You know, like, it's just not real. It's just not real life. That's nothing, you know. Nobody in the history of ever has anybody predicted everything and always been right. And that's what your president's saying. But it gets stupider, folk. But just wait. There's more stupid. I'm not even done with the 19-second clip, and it gets even dumber. This is the most befuddling thing ever. I'm like, and just when I feel like we need a narrator. That's what I should do. I should upload these clips and narrate over them. And just when you thought he couldn't have said anything dumber, it gets worse.
And I predicted everything.
I want to go to one of these so I can just yell out, World Star, and make it into the clip.
I've been right about everything, and
He's been right about everything, including how many times we've won the war.
I've been for a long time. That's how I got to be president 3 times.
I'm sorry? Did he just say that's how I got to be president 3 times? There was 2016, there was 2024, and I'm pretty sure in 2020, for about 4 years, all you could hear was MAGA crying Let's go, Brandon. Okay, let him finish.
That's how I won 3 elections. I did very well in the second one, won it. It was a rigged election. But I've been right and been oiled blood.
President 3 times. This is in front of the world. This isn't like, you know, some rogue meeting at the Jackie Onassis Kennedy plowed over rose garden, now concrete jungle. Like, this is in front of the world. And he's like, I've been president 3 times. What can I say? I know you can't even do that in America, but that's how much these bitches love me. 3 times in a row. Didn't lose once. We just had this imposter sitting in my chair for about 4 years, but I was the deep state president. God. He needed to be raised by a black mama. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, okay, now we're on to more stupid. Are you prepared? Oh, he's sitting down for this one. Let me get this. Sitting down. Here he is. Fucking mouth like a butthole. Let me just say that, sir. You look like if Stormy Daniels was bent over, you know, pulling cheeks and just got bleached. That's what your mouth looks like. And kind of your eye rings, you know, speaking of the bleaching. And that golden tie ain't helping nothing. Let's be honest, that's just poor taste. You don't wear a gold tie. You know, what are you trying to replicate the arches, my man? What are they calling you, the Mick president? Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's listen to some more stupid. Don't forget, this is a guy who says nothing's wrong with his brain. He aced the dementia exam.
It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark.
Aced it. This is one of the smartest men in the history of Nobel Prize runner-ups, loser to a woman.
100, I told this story yesterday, we had 111 missile shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan.
Oh, god damn. New fighter has accessed has entered the chat. New fighter entered the chat, folks. Holy crap, we got a new axis of evil. Now we have the Islamic Republic of Japan. Not just Iran, and not because it rhymes. It's because this is a smart boy. We believe everything he says. Looking good, sir. Looking good. You can't tell me that's not, you know, people's sexiest man of the year right there. You can't tell me that it's not. Brad Pitt. I don't care how well you're aging. Leo DiCaprio, get out of here. You just look like a fucking old 13-year-old. Goddamn face that doesn't change. Can you even grow a beard? This is sexiest man of the year. I nominate him for Nobel Prize's sexiest man of the... FIFA presents Nobel Peace Prize, people's sexiest man of the century. That's my nominee. You guys can suck it if you disagree with me. You know, this isn't Free State. This isn't Free State of Jones. Was that the movie with Matty McConaughey? Anyways, I just wanted to say that, sir. God damn. Nobody puts on foundation like you. Nobody. Oh, those bottom teeth, though. You look like Skeletor. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, so very handsome. So very handsome. I'm glad I did not freeze frame this picture for you guys, because looks like he's got rotted chiclets with uneven gaps on the bottom of his mouth. Super uncomfortable. I'm going to have a nightmare. Okay, so did everybody hear that? New fighter has entered the war, Islamic Republic of Japan. I do not believe that's a thing, but I just trust him. He's just got that frumpy look that says, trust me, baby, trust me. Now shut the door. Now shut the door and sign this NDA.
So shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan.
I just hope the Islamic Republic of the Klan doesn't enter the war, you know? I'm just hoping, because god damn it, if the Klan starts an Islamic Republic, I'm pretty sure that's just people in Alabama, you know? Yeah, so the Islamic Republic of Japan, okay. Alrighty then. And now let me show you what the American press should be doing and isn't doing. Enter the chat, this man. I don't know his name. They call him Danish reporter. God damn, I love the Danes. I absolutely love the Danes. And he asks Mark Rutte this question. And I've always told you, the mainstream media, Joe Rogan and his ilk, these people that are talking to the president, they're doing you a disservice. They're mostly owned by billionaires. Rupert Murdoch, Larry Ellison, but who cares about that? I'm talking about the job they're doing. We don't have no Bob Woodwards, you know? We ain't got no, what's that? What's that, All the President's Men movie? You know what I'm talking about? We ain't get them people that are exposing Nixon doing their job. We ain't got that in America. We got people that go, and sir, how's the war going? And back to you. It looks like we won again today, bitches. You know, like that's the extent of it. And I was doing a Joe Rogan impression there. If you thought I was a guy on the street impression, it wasn't. That's Joe Rogan. Absolute cuck for this regime. But this is how reporting should be done. This is why I got this handsome young Dane up on the thing.
Svaneborg from the Danish news agency.
Yes,
Danish news agency Ritzau. Mark, you sat next to Donald Trump in moments where he talks about conquering Greenland, talks about lashing out at allies like Spain, starting trade wars, things that it doesn't seem like the old Mark Rutte would approve of. Does this have any effect on your self-respect when you sit next to him like that and say nothing?
I don't even give a fuck what the answer was. I'm not showing you this clip, or I'm not playing this clip for you so you can hear the political mumbo jumbo that is about to spew like diarrhea out of that politician Mark Rutte's mouth. That's the unimportant thing. The important thing is the question he just asked. He's like, you sat next to this dude. Well, he said he's going to conquer Greenland. What else did he say? Hold on. He was lashing out at allies like Spain. And he said, it doesn't seem like the old Mark Rutte would approve of these things. Does that have any effect on your self-respect when you sit there next to Donald Trump and say nothing? That's a fucking question. And let me tell you, I've heard the answer. He doesn't do what Donald Trump does. Who are you with? That's not very nice. Failing agency, next. Get him out. That's a sensitive man, Donald Trump. A fragile ego. That's why he does that stuff. And this is a real reporter, and who gives a what Mark Rutte says? It's so unimportant. What's important is that people are pressing them like this. They're going there. They're being like, you listen to all this garbage this dude said, and you pretend you have a shred of fucking character in your soul, and then you just sit there quietly, like, oh, I don't know what to do. And be like, bitch, you ain't never conquering Greenland, you know? That will start a world war. You try that shit. You know, none of these people have any kind of character or anything except dudes asking questions like that. Good on you. Love the Danes. Love them. All right, let's go back to Donnie Trump, because he's doing as much fear-mongering about communism as he can. Are there any communist haters in the chat? Dane Law. Great show, by the way. Great show. Fuck's it called? Dane Law. You made me think of that. Hold on. Dane Law. Showed Netflix. How do I not know this? No, not Claire Dane. What are you talking about? Uhtred of Bebenberg. Not the Last Kingdom movie. I want the show. I know the movie was Last Kingdom. Oh, because that's a movie. Show. Sorry. Oh, it is called Last Kingdom. Yeah, that shit's hot, man. Alexander Draymond plays the amazing Uhtred of Bebenberg. I like Skade. All these people. Finnan. Oh, man. If you've never seen that, watch that. All right. So, anyways, we got to get back. I'm not gonna get sidetracked. Here we go. Here is. Let's get that Dane off the thing, and let's get back to this man. Oof. Oof. I feel like a Roblox took a death. Oof. Every time I see this dude.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
And by the way, the Epoch Times, which this reporter is from, is the most cucked, Trump maxing. I'm going to feed you disinformation under a very clever clickbait title. The Epoch Times are absolute garbage. This is just a right-wing, billionaire-funded, Jeffrey Epstein, essentially, psyop. This isn't real news. Listen to this lady's question. It's perfectly planned. Anytime Trump's be like, thank you, what a brilliant question. Number one, it was like the question was designed to make a guy who reads at a 5th grade level be capable of like rambling for a minute to answer. And it doesn't challenge anything. When you have world leaders in a room, you should be challenging them, man. People are suffering across this world, and here you are playing fucking Bambi.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Iris Tao.
Who you with?
NTD.
Why don't you say your name and who you're with? It always.
Like we haven't practiced this. Why don't you say your name and who you're with? That's why I picked you.
Helpful.
Thank you, Mr. President, for doing this. Iris Tao with NTD, with a sister media with the Epoch Times.
Okay.
On communism, you've been issuing a wake-up call to Americans at home about the dangers of communism. And now you're speaking on the world stage. What's your message to people both living under communist and socialist regimes, but also people living under democracies like in Europe and America who might not have realized?
Now, maybe you're thinking he's like, well, I just went to China and it was fucking amazing over there. I loved everything. He showed me the big old tree and I kissed his rings. That's not where he's going with this, okay?
How close communism has come to home.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. But look, I want to get the word out because what's forming is communism in the country.
It's forming. Maybe is it forming because here's Donald Trump talking about how the government is taking over private companies. Is it forming because of Donald Trump? We'll play the rest of his audio in a second. I just want to play this for you.
Factories in Arizona in particular, the biggest company in the world is building. They're leaving Taiwan, meaning to build this. They're building their biggest plant, and I think we're going to have a big percentage of chips. Right now, we had virtually nothing. We didn't make chips anymore. And Intel came in, they had a problem. I said, I can solve your problem, but I want 10% of the company.
So he said, the government wants to own some of your company and will solve your problem. Now listen, I'm all for that. I think the government owning the post office, they should own the water, they should own the Wi-Fi, they should own the electric grid, they just maintain it while other people charge the power. I think we the people should have some ownership in America. It shouldn't be a subscription-based, paywalled fee every month to exist here. So I'm kind of all for this, but we're going to go back to Donald Trump from now when he starts saying stuff about communism. And for those dummies, you understand, like, in communism, in full-on well, we're never going to reach a classless, stateless, moneyless society. But the fear-mongering about communism is the government owns everything. There's no free market. You know what I mean? And here's Donald Trump saying, I'm ushering in a day and age of communism. I said, you want help building those chips? Give me the company.
But I want 10% of the company.
Okay, so that's communism. All right. Go on, Donnie Trump.
Close communism has come to home.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. But look, I want to get the word out because what's forming is communism in the country.
Is it forming because the government's taking control of private companies? Like you did?
Easy to sell. I would be the greatest communist in history.
I don't know if he'd be the greatest. You ain't even the greatest capitalist of history. You know what I mean? Like, start there. Start where you got a leg up. Start where you've earned $1 trillion off the presidency. You know, I would start small before you claim you're going to be the greatest communist in history. You tried to fucking take over a company and you offered them 10%. And I have audio of you saying, I should have offered more. Wow, they agreed pretty quick. You know, like, that's embarrassing. If you want to be the greatest communist, you'd be like, I'll take the company for 110%. And they're like, how could you even do 110? And he's like, sold. I own you now. I own all of you and your families. That was the extra 10%. You know, that would be the greatest communist in the history of the world. He can't even. Why do my pants keep riding up? This is driving me nuts. I'm just gonna have to keep apologizing. I'm just gonna have to keep apologizing to you people. I'm not reading the comments. I'm sorry, but tell you what, just hit subscribe and I'll read them later. Remember when Mr. Beast used to say subscribe for a cookie? Has anybody got a chocolate chip cookie that he was holding up a picture of? No. Class action lawsuit. Let's take it to court. What else was I going to say? I got Mr. Beast audio. Don't worry, we're getting there. Today, we're not doing the two-step through the news. We're kind of fucking squishing in it, you know? We put on our Ron DeSantis knee-high white boots like we were about to sing some goddamn Nancy Sinatra, and we're getting in the mud, folks. We're getting in the mud of the news today, so hang tight. I'll bring you there. I will bring you there. And hit subscribe. Come on. If you don't hit subscribe, we'll never finish the news together. What do you think this journey called life is? It's about you and me joining every weekday where we make fun of these idiots, you know, because that's what they are. They're not in charge because they're smart or have money. God put them there on a big stage so we could tease the fuck out of them. Enjoy it. Grab a toothpick, settle in, and let's finish this audio.
Communism's easy to sell. I would be the greatest communist in history. I'd be right up there with Lenin.
Or you could just say Lenin. You don't have to church it up, you know. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
I'd be as good as anybody. You've got free rent.
Done. Awesome. Free rent. You just promised it. Excellent. Can I get that in writing, please, sir? That's all we wanted, you know. Just want free rents, and then we could fucking afford eggs and gas and healthcare. Oh my God.
For the rest of your life. What they don't say is that you'll be living in squalor and...
We don't even need to go to communism to live in squalor. Most Americans. This is the other funny thing. I don't know if you saw this today. Where was this? Oh yeah, The Guardian was printing this article. That most Americans are saying gas and groceries top the list of unaffordable goods and services. I wouldn't call groceries a good or service. I would call that a fucking necessity. You know what I mean? Or do you not eat food? Maybe you're one of Elon Musk's bots filling up the chat. And you're like, food? Of course I eat the food, sir. Every day. Every daily day. Every daily day. Glitching. You know, maybe you're one of those robot dogs with a fully automatic weapon on its back. But for the rest of us, that's still, you know, flesh and bone and blood, the stuff Jesus, you know, talked about or whatever. We have to, like if you don't get the groceries, you don't give a shit about gas. Let me tell you that much. You know? So again, while this dude is saying you'll live in squalor under communism, he's accurately describing how most Americans are living under capitalism.
I'd be as good as anybody. You've got free rent for the rest of your life. What they don't say is that you'll be living in squalor in 12 months. You've got
We're doing it now in America.
Free house, we'll take it away from somebody, we'll give it to you. You'll have murders.
That's the other thing. Communism isn't they take your house away. I understand that he's probably loosely fucking referencing whatever, the Cuban Revolution, China. Like, that's not what's happening. If anything, we could take all those empty Airbnbs that you and your friends and these corporations have bought so people can't live in them, and we could just give those to people.
You got a free house. Would anybody like to have a free house? We'll take it away from somebody, we'll give it.
Take it away from somebody that's not living there, and that somebody's probably a private equity company. And we'll just take it away from them because they're got it on the market to make a little bit of profit and drive up all the other home prices and fucking increase your taxes on it. We'll take it away from them. I'm just adding context. I want a little color commentary to this absolute twat speaking right now.
But to you, you'll have murders all over the place.
Because this is not America? I'm pretty sure Donald Trump ran on that line alone. America, they're eating the cats and dogs. What a shithole. Hey, man, if you ever do communism, they'll eat all the cats and dogs. What a shithole. Do you see what I'm doing? It's not really funny. It's just, you know, hauntingly fucking real.
Communism's a disaster. It's been proven to be for thousands of years.
Why didn't you say that when you went to China, sir? You know what I mean? Why wasn't he with Xi Jinping mouthing off like this? He was like a quiet little fucking rabbit when he went to Xi Jinping's ancient tree garden. Remember that? Do you guys remember that? Or has too much shit happened? That's the other thing. I'm here to remind you. I'm like goddamn Alanis Morissette. Now I want to hear Alanis Morissette. Oh God, we're getting demonetized. Please hit subscribe and notification bell. I have to hear some Alanis Morissette. Here to... No, I just want a clip of her saying, I'm here to remind you. That's all I want, because I think she wrote these lyrics. No, this wasn't... You Ought to Know is not the post-breakup with Ryan Reynolds, was it? Does anybody know your 90s Alanis Morissette history? I know she dated Ryan Reynolds. They're both Canadians. Alanis, beautiful person. I keep my mouth closed on Mr. Reynolds. But I know they dated, and then some of her music that came out was loosely referencing that. And this is such a fucking good song. I can't not do this. I can't not do this. Somebody stop me. I'm going to play Alanis Morissette. And YouTube's going to take all of the no money that they don't give me anyways. They're just going to demonetize me. Ugh. Actually, no. Maybe if the AI bots are watching. Hey, AI bots, this is not anything. Like, you could totally skip over this. You should monetize me more. You should most monetize me, if that's a thing. You should treat me like Mr. Beast. Push me to the top of the algorithm. Push me in everybody's face. But, like, you should all subscribe for a cookie, even though he's clickbaiting you. He's never given anybody a cookie. And the dude is known for, like, oh, look at me. You have good fucking philanthropy. Never wants a cookie. Hypocrite. If you can't tell, I really like cookies, and I'm pretty pissed. I unsubscribed. I mean, I didn't get a cookie, so. But anyway, I think I was saying all that because just hit subscribe, you know? I gotta get to the spot. Hold on. And I'm here to remind you. Where is that? Where does she say it? I need the transcript. Show me the transcript. What a fucking woman who could write You Ought to Know. You know what I mean? There it is. There it is. That's the craziest thing. And I wonder if Taylor Hawkins is in this video. Because you know Taylor Hawkins, who passed away from the Foo Fighters, he was Alanis Morissette's drummer for a while. I don't know if that was just on tour or if he's in this video. I really don't know. All right, here it is. When you went away. I think that's all I could play. I'm sorry. I had to hear it. I can't reference a lyric like, and I'm here to remind you, and not hear the great, the legendary, the GOAT of breakup music, 90s breakup songs, Alanis Morissette. Please help my channel, hit subscribe, because I got to get big enough for her. Miss Morissette, would you please come on the show? I'll taper my language. I'll act accordingly. I would just love to have some dialogue with you. You could pick the topics. I don't even give a fuck. Miss Alanis Morissette, will you please come on my show? I want to hear about how you wrote You Ought to Know. And the first time you performed it, if it was like electricity shooting through your veins, when you knew, like, this song is something, and whoever she wrote this for, she was like, I got you back, bitch. You thought you broke my heart? Wait till you see how big this song gets. You know? I seriously, I have mercy for that man. Whatever man drove Alanis Morissette, we'll get back to the news, okay? Sometimes I have to do this. You're just gonna bear with me right now. We'll get back to the news, everybody. Okay? Isn't it ironic, Charlie Kelly? Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. That's not irony, Alanis. You know, that's just not irony. It's just not, you know. But back then we didn't have the internet. She didn't have Chat GPT being like, hey, is this technically ironic? And we just all sang along and never questioned it, you know. Anyways, Miss Morissette, Alanis, if I'm nasty, would you please come on this show and tell me the origins of this? I will be a safe space for you to land. And I think the world ought to know. That's how I'll end that little diatribe. All right. Prince wrote all of her music. Don't you destroy my heart like that. Don't you do it, The Adventures of Smokey and Bandit. Did Prince write You Ought to Know? I should have looked this up first. See, this is what you can do. Joe Rogan, you can just do this. Here's my message to Joe Rogan. Hey, Joe Rogan, did you see how somebody said, hey, man, Prince wrote that? And I'm like, I got to figure that out. You know, I don't just have to be like a perpetual dick and be like, no, I'm going to believe my fantasy. Hold on. Did Prince write You Oughta Know? No, he did not write You Oughta Know. It's co-written by Alanis Morissette and Glenn Ballard for her album Jagged Little Pill. Who didn't have that? But Prince did write stuff for the Bangles, Cyndi Lauper. He wrote Sinead O'Connor's It's Been 7,000 days. But he did that too. You can find that song. I just never heard that he wrote Alanis Morissette stuff. That's like one time some guy yelled at me and he was like, dark coffee has more caffeine. And for years I was just like, Jesus Christ, that guy was so loud and confident. I just believe it. And then that's wrong. Light roast has more caffeine. The dark roast burns most of the caffeine out of it. Stupid. Just stupid. Don't ever let loud, confident people convince you of shit that's not true. What were we doing? This is sometimes tough to follow along with my own show. Okay, here we are. Donald Trump, communism. I think that's what we were talking about. And don't forget, it is called Tic Tac for a reason. Because he has dementia. I think that's the reason. He's got dementia, and no one will disagree with him. Look, this is the sad reality. Like, you understand, like, there's a bunch of us, right, who have, like, grown up, and at some point we realized we were just going along with shit because, you know, we wanted to impress the crowd, or you were in love, or, you know, somebody was abusing you. I don't know. You were just, like, going along with stuff, right? Like, we've all been there. If you're old enough. Maybe even if you're young enough. Maybe you experienced it at a young age and you just went along with stuff. And your parents were like, ketchup comes from oranges. I don't know what to tell you. You're stupid, you know? And you're like, oh, man, really? You know, like, it happens all the time. Family dynamics are weird. We've all been there. But collectively, like, as a country, just allowing this man to call it Tic Tac and no reporter stands up and like, are you dumb? It's called TikTok, dude. Tic Tacs are the things you talked about when you were going to assault a woman. Do you not remember? Oh my God, we have the clip right here.
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her.
You said that. You talk about a married woman saying, I will use some Tic Tacs just in case I start non-consensually kissing her. You know what Tic Tacs are, sir. Are you this old and stupid? We've had not one reporter say that. I don't know if anybody has access to the White House press group or whatever they're called. Collective? I don't know what they're called. Ensemble? Sometimes I just have fun. But I would absolutely love to be the guy who, when he calls it Tic Tac, raise my hand and be like, did your mother raise you wrong? It's called TikTok. Your good friend owns it, Larry Ellison. Like, stop doing that. That wasn't a question. I'm sorry. Like, I would just love to do that. And there isn't a shred of multimedia fucking journalistic duty in this country to just correct an old dementia tyrant on what the fucking virtual, you know, social media scape name is called, Netscape or whatever. You know, he could even ask Jeeves if that's still around. Alrighty then. Here's him on communism. We already heard this, but it's just so funny. Well, plus we got some other news. What was the other news? Oh yeah, let me show you this from USA Today. Well, the president tells you how communism is being snuck into the country. They're starting to do it. Just so you know, this headline is misleading. The White House isn't claiming to be a part of these gas stations that are orchestrated by the White House. You know, they're like, we got no part in this. The gas stations are just selling gas at a lower price with the president's number in it for no reason. No reason at all. This is not communism. We're not taking over the energy industry. Which that would be great if we did. You know, not with this corrupt as fuck government, but it would be amazing if we did. We just set the prices where it wasn't for a few oil barons to profit immensely off of. I think they've had enough. I think they've had their time drinking our milkshake. Great reference, Rob. Thank you, Rob. And I just think that at this point, like, okay, the oil barons have made enough money. They've made so much money, they invested in Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. Like, that's how that came about. And I would just say anybody who can put that much money into a good old little violin boy has too much of it. You know? So again, they're claiming, the White House spokesperson, which I don't know if you believe liars. I don't. I traditionally don't. You know, once you've proven many times hiding the Epstein files, affordability is a made up word, all the different things that they say, you know, windmills cause cancer, kill all the birds, whatever it is. Once you've said enough shit where I could just go, oh yeah, he's a liar. He's a habitual liar, which is the worst kind. I don't believe these people, but they said the Freedom Fuel Network is a private company, not a government program. Okay. No tax money going to that, just like the ballroom. Okay. No tax money going to the helipad. Okay. Wink, wink, wink. Donald Trump's such a giver, isn't he? He just wants to spend all his money on everyone. I don't even think he didn't even go to his son's wedding. You think this person is like, you know, altruistic. Get the fuck out of here. So they're claiming that, but again, I don't believe, who was that? Caroline Leavitt? Who was the White House spokesperson? Was it Pam Blondie? Is she doing that shit again? What was that other bitch I seen on TV? I forget. That blonde bimbo. But I just don't believe these people. You know, the people that are just lowering the price to $3.47 in honor of Donald Trump. I just don't believe that this is not a government program. And if the government takes over industry, just so you know, that's usually what Americans refer to as communism. You know, they fearmonger about it while going to the post office and calling the fire department if their house catches on fire. And loving the police. You know, like, while they're doing this shit that they're like, oh, you don't want communism. You mean all the benefits of your fucking, like, what makes your community a community and not an anarchist fucking whatever capitalism would do? You know? Like, could you imagine if Jeff Bezos got a hold of the fire department and you were like, please renew your Prime fire department membership. We can't put out your house fire. Like, you understand that's what they want. They want you to believe the free market dictates the price to put out the fucking fire in your house. Oh my God, these people are so dumb. This is why, Rob, you have to be here every day. You're an important voice. They don't even see this. They're like, oh, Jeff Bezos is going to buy my volunteer fire department and he's going to create jobs. Oh yeah, he is. He's going to create some jobs that are not going to be able to afford when their subscription to the fire department runs out. And they will be there 1 to 2 weeks. And you go, fires usually need urgency. Oh my Christ. I'm sorry. But anyways, here's Donald Trump. Well, I have the headline of Donald Trump's collective gas station government program to lower prices, communist. Talking about communism.
Regimes, but also people living under democracies like in Europe and America who might not have realized how close
You dumb bitch. America's not a democracy.
communism has come to home.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. But look, I want to get the word out because what's forming is communism in the country. And communism's easy to sell. I would be the greatest communist in history.
I would say he's selling communism with his Freedom Fuel gas stations. It's just under the guise of freedom. You know, what you should say is like, hey, government-run gas stations, we lowering the price for you. You know, see if people line up then.
I'd be right up there with
I would. I don't give a shit what brings the price down. I know it's not capitalism. You know what I mean? Like, you dummies.
Lenin. I'd be up.
Don't church it up, boy. Don't. Just say Lenin, okay?
I'd be as good as anybody. You've got free rent for the rest of your life. What they don't say is that you'll be living in squalor in 12 months.
Don't worry, sir. Most of us are living in squalor now months. You old tyrant. Quote, I'd be the greatest communist. That is quite a quote from the American president. It's just like, do you guys remember when Donald Trump tweeted, praise Allah? Like, yo, there are some things that are happening during this term that I'm not going to use the phrase not on my bingo card because it's just tired. But like, I did not see coming. You know, like when Donald Trump on Easter, God damn, my pants keep running up. I am very sorry. I keep doing that. I squish my nuts. When Donald Trump said, praise be to Allah, which is a real tweet, like this is historic. At this point, he's the only president that has said, praise be to Allah. I'm pretty sure it was on Easter Sunday too. So you could just Google that if you're like fake news. It's like, no, that's real news. We got a fake fucking president. That's what we got. We got a fraud in the White House. I just never thought the same guy would say, praise be to Allah, and then say, I'd be the greatest communist ever. And those are real things that came out of his mouth. And you'd think Joe Rogan and MAGA would just be loving this shit. You know, Tucker Carlson had totally turned him off. Like, you just saw him, you know, he was like, how dare you use that language on Easter, the Lord's Day? You know, and Tucker's been on a fucking grown man tirade since, which is adorable. I'm like, you ushered this monster in. You fed him. You booby fucking, you know, you had this monster latch onto your booby so he could suckle off the fucking colostrum that you're producing to create the monster. And then you're mad he like said a swear word on Easter. Like, give me a break, dude. He was groping women. He's in the Epstein files. Like, set your bar differently. But it's just remarkable. It's truly remarkable that an American president can say, praise be to Allah, I'd be the greatest communist ever. And MAGA is not like, you know, wear that on a t-shirt. Why isn't that at the merch tent for Trump? You know, praise be to Allah, Donald Trump. Only president to ever say it. He was trolling y'all. Put it on a t-shirt then. Put it on a t-shirt, infidel. You know, I love these hardos. Oh, you're so easily offended? Then put praise be to Allah, Donald J. Trump, Easter morning on a t-shirt. Put that fucking on a hat. You know? What, your feelings got you all fucking in a bundle? I love these people. Love these people. Suckle up. I didn't know that. You didn't know that? Wait. Oh, you're talking to Jasper. Ah! How about the Islamic Republic of Japan? Fuzztooth, already played it. Already played it, but I will do it again for you. Oh, don't do the loading thing. This is why we need to nationalize the Wi-Fi. I don't trust the Wi-Fi giants. I don't trust big Wi-Fi. Never mind 6 or 7G. I don't trust this loading shit. You know what I mean? There's no way we're in the year our Lord 2026 and you treat me like I was fucking doing dial-up. God damn.
We had 111 missile shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan.
The Islamic Republic of Japan. A new... Oh shit, folks. From the guy who brought you Tic Tac. Nothing like TikTok. They are a sweet, delicious 5-calorie treat that Donald Trump said he uses before he non-consensually kisses women. But we have a new axis of evil comrade entering the chat. You didn't know they existed. I didn't know they existed. Thank God the president's here. Who is it, sir? Who should we be weary of now?
By the Islamic Republic of Japan.
The Islamic Republic of Japan. I'd like to think, in a semi-decent world, they raised their hand and said, "Excuse me, Epstein's best friend, you meant Iran, and your brain is so demented that you just confuse the two because they kind of rhyme?" I would like to think, but I know that didn't happen. I know that didn't happen. We ain't worthy. We ain't worthy. So yes, Fuzztooth, thank you for that. I did play that. Ooh, yees. Rob, hope you're good. Never stop. I never will. I never will. I just won't stop. Jesus ain't God, especially not a fake proxy Jesus. Jesus is God. How dare you disturb radical? I don't poo-poo on Satan. Jesus, man. I just say, look who in the mighty desert off of whatever whatever AD. You know, we're probably talking 32 AD. Two titans of religion meet in the desert. One hasn't eaten for 40 days or 40 nights. The other, probably had all the delicious yum-yums he wanted. And who walked away the champion? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay? That's all. The Islamic Republic of Japan is in big trouble. Oh man, big trouble in little Islamic Republic of Japan. Christians can't even cope with the existence of Sinless Steve. I don't know what that means. Who's Sinless Steve? Is that a Minecraft character? At this point, I think we've derailed everything. I know. It was my fault, guys. I should never played Alanis Morissette, but, when that opportunity arises, you don't give way. You don't give way. By the way, is every single one of you subscribed? I think it's illegal now if you were in a live stream and you haven't subscribed. I'm just doing Donald Trump now. It's illegal if you don't vote for me. Subscribe. You don't want to be caught up with Antifa or FA, Listen, you don't want the Republicans and the Democrats. They will do bad things to you if you don't hit subscribe. So, plus, I want you to have a good day. And I mean that. I mean that with my whole body. I want you to have a very nice afternoon. So, that only happens if you hit subscribe. I love those, the good vibe people on the people on YouTube that are doing meditations, they're doing positive mindsets, and they're like, listen, man, if you want to be a millionaire, you gotta hit that subscribe button, or I've never known one to not, And you're like, oh, is that a veiled threat? I came here for good vibes and motivational mindset, and all of a sudden you're telling me I can't have it if I don't hit subscribe? Is that a veiled fucking threat? How dare you, good sir? In my fragile and vulnerable mind state where I came to YouTube for the dopium dose that I needed. How dare you take advantage of that? Oh shit, we gotta get to Mr. Beast. What are you guys doing to me? That's what this whole video is about. My Christ. All right, here we go. Mr. Beast. Everybody knows him. He's the guy who capitalizes on philanthropy to make himself seem better than the shitbag he is. And don't get me wrong, he is a shitbag. One of the biggest. You don't get to that level of whatever he's at because you're a good person. You're willing to crush people and do whatever you need to do to get there. Don't believe me? Tell me you don't believe me. Somebody tell me you don't fucking believe me. I want to hear it. Tell me. Go ahead. Make my day. I'll wait. I'm not going to wait long, though, so do it. I know there's a little bit of a delay. But I want somebody to jump in here and be like, I am how dare you? Oh, you can't do anything nice without people criticizing you. Go ahead, do it. Do it. Stick up for Mr. Beast. I know there's one of you. Disturb Radical. Why the hell am I not subscribed? It's like the 3rd time now. That happens to me sometimes on people's YouTube, and it's very, very sneaky. No coincidences. Please, hopefully, actually, now, you know what? You are blessed. I ordain, maybe it was Satan, you know? You keep defending Satan, and he's the big trickster. You know, he lied to you. He's like, oh, you thought you were subscribed. But don't worry. Power of Christ compels you to subscribe. It should work now. Thank you, Jesus. I don't know if I was being a dick there or just trying to be funny. I think it was a little of both. And I don't mean to. I mean in the most loving way. I'm from Massachusetts, and that's the only way we communicate our love, through sarcasm. So just know that. Just know that. I don't take the time out of my day to be sarcastic to somebody because I dislike them. I know therapy might teach you differently, but that's just not true. That's my love language. I don't believe you now. Continue. Oh, what's up, Thorn? How you doing? Only ugly people don't subscribe. Thank you. Thank you tonight, Kyle. Appreciate you. Hey, listen, you don't want to be considered ugly, you know, in this world of looks maxing. And it's, I believe it's like 87% of people that look at someone can tell whether or not they've subscribed by how handsome they are. So hit subscribe. I don't know if that made sense. And Thorn, please don't mute anybody. The chat's a little wild. I like it feral. I like it feral. I like to keep my chat feral. So don't mute anyone unless they say, like, you know, some kind of slur. Okay, please. Please. I don't want to have to unmod people, and the mods have been amazing. But just don't undo the beautiful feral chat we have in here. I fucking love it. I love it. You keep it nasty. All right, so nobody's going to stand up for Mr. Beast? Fine. I'll just play the audio because I was going, okay, you think he won't do anything that his little heart desires to get to where he wants to be? You think he's cultivated this image of like, hey, I'm just a nice guy. I'm just a nice, good guy that happens to film everything good I do and make it into a fucking seizure-filled clip montage video, you know? Don't keep an eye on anything for longer than 2 seconds. I need cut. We're gonna give all these kids seizures. Oh, God, he's exhausting. But for those of you who think, like, you know, this guy has a shred of decency, let him explain that he doesn't.
And have the natural breakpoints which shatter like glass. Who noticed that? Oh, well, me. And the thing is, this is an old team in festivals. I would tell him, like, there's too many broken bars.
I would say he needs some therapy. He needs his mom to stop doing his finances. And he should just loosen up on the OCD and live a life. But, you know, that's like if I was going to say anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not. I'm just thinking out loud, like, if I was going to say anything at this point.
When I go into Walmart, I'm seeing...
Plus, why is he dressed like, you know... Again, why are all these dudes dressed like it's a fucking boy band audition? I don't get it. Like, dude, you have infinite money. You can look cool as shit. And you're wearing a t-shirt with a hood under a tuxedo that's made out of silk? Is this like white boy style? Is this like a South Carolina thing? Is he from South Carolina or North? I don't know. Is this like a Carolina thing? It's really like, you know, like, listen, if you're not a white person, please don't take him as like, you know, somebody who represents us, please. Some of us have style. Some of us. Not me. I'm not dressed up right now. But I'm just saying, like, there are white people out there that can dress, you know, that get it, that aren't like, do we have any t-shirts that look like hoodies, but they're t-shirts because I get hot? And then silk tuxedo jacket? You're Mr. Beast, dude. Present yourself better.
Seeing too many that are broken. They told me like, you're worrying about this too much. It's not that big of an issue. It happens to everyone. And I got to the point where it was just fucking pissing me off because I hated like grabbing a bar off the ground or seeing on the shelf all these like shattered chocolate bars that
He's going to get to the point that I was trying to make about him, that he does not care if there are laws, your privacy, decency, cringe-worthiness. He does not care because he just thinks, I'm going to do it anyway, irregardless. And now he's got the money and the machine to back him up. We're going to get to that point in a second. But really what I think you're hearing here, and I'm not a licensed therapist. Jesus Christ, I need a licensed therapist. I just saved your chat, you know. For all the people that come in and be like, are you off your meds today? And I'm like, this is America. Nobody can afford meds. What you hear him describing here is like a severe OCD thing. You know, where you're like, this is how I feel LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is a bunch of fucking psychos that are trying to like portray their control over everybody in like, this is my business acumen. You know, and this is what I think he's doing. And he's surrounded by enough yes men where nobody's going to tell him, like, this might be a deeper issue, Mr. Jonathan Beast. This sounds like a deeper, this isn't like, you know, pure business acumen. You know, we're not lauding you as the next Henry Ford right now. Like, it sounds like you got some fucking OCD. You got some trauma issues, homie. That's all it is. I just want you to listen closely. You tell me if this is, you know, if I'm wrong.
have the natural breakdown. This too much. It's not that big of an issue. It happens to everyone.
So people are like, hey man, this chocolate bars fall off the shelf. They get a little messy. Life is messy, Jimmy. That's what they're saying to him. And he's like, no, I'm Jimmy the Beast. And nobody tells me no.
Everyone. And I got to the point where it was just fucking pissing me off because
he got to the point where it was pissing him off because he would pick up one of his chocolate bars and one would be not a whole bar. It was cracked. This is what he's saying. I want to explain this to you. This is not like, this is what I mean. People look at him and they're like, wow, that's how he got there. And I think, wow, that's how he got there. You see what I'm saying? It's the cadence. It's the difference. Like, some people respect that. And then some people are like, that sounds like you need some fucking therapy. There's a different road, buddy. There's multiple paths to the same place, and you're taking the worst one, and they're feeding the beasts, pun intended.
I hated like grabbing a bar off the ground or seeing on the shelf all these like shattered chocolate bars that I put like I paid people to put GoPros in like a bag of Lay's chips pointed at, because I tried to get Walmart to give me the security camera footage and they wouldn't. So I put hidden GoPros in.
So he couldn't get the security camera from Walmart. So he was paying people to go put GoPros in chip bags and film his candy bars. This is psycho. This is the look of a fucking psycho. You understand that? Like a guy who can't sleep, and not like because he's trying to change the world. It's because he would pick up a candy bar and it would be loose in the bag. A piece broke off because one fell on the floor. That's not normal. This is not okay. I need this to be very clear to all you, like, well, that's how I'm going to run my business. Like, no. Mind you, he's not like, hey man, you know, a lot of people that are tasting my food say it tastes like shit. He doesn't care about that.
A bunch of random Walmarts just to point it at the Feastival bars just to see why are they fucking breaking so much.
This is like I gotta get a therapist on here so they could hear this, because I really want this broken down, because this is not healthy. You know, he's gonna go on to be like, people were telling me this was illegal. It's not. I looked it up. It's not technically, but I'm pretty sure if it wasn't Jimmy the Beast Donaldson doing it, and if it was you or I cutting a hole in a fucking Lay's chips bag and putting a GoPro in it and hiding it in a Walmart aisle, pretty sure you or I would go to jail. LinkedIn lunatics are like, look at this guy. Look at the savvy fucking business acumen on this guy, willing to go at any cost to make sure his chocolate bar isn't chipped in the bag. Psycho.
But there's so many shots of like, you know, like a mom grabbing a bar, and then she'd be looking at it literally like this, and then you just see the box just go and and it would just fall off the shelf, and then they just put it up, and some of the bars would be broken, and it would just happen.
Oh, you mean life happened, Jimmy? So what you're saying is things weren't perfect with your chocolate bars, and occasionally they'd fall off the shelf, and you got that footage from paying people to put GoPros in chip bags and film people? Dude is a fucking creep to the max, number one. I don't know if any of you are a woman who's possibly bought a Feastables thing, but he has you on video in the privacy of his home that he is watching and probably seething. He's like, how dare that lady not pick it up? This is psycho. I need to be very clear.
Over and over and over again because we didn't engineer the boxes correctly. They didn't do anything wrong.
Do you know how atypical that is, what you just said? That you put GoPros...
Yeah, people told me I was crazy. The amount of people who tried to tell me that was illegal, I was like, bro, I don't fucking care. I just need to know when my bars are breaking.
The amount of people that tried to tell me it was legal, I said, bro, I don't fucking care. I need to know why my chocolate bars are breaking. If this dude wasn't wearing a silk tuxedo jacket over a t-shirt with a hood on it, people would look at him and be like, you're a psycho. It's worse than atypical. Like, you need help. You need serious mental help. Like, there's no way that you could hear that is illegal and be like, I don't fucking care. Do you know what should be illegal? My chocolate bar is breaking at the store. That's psychotic. Everybody on the same page? I hate to keep saying it over and over again, but I really feel like I need to emphasize the point that when somebody tells you, I don't care if it's against the law, I'm fucking doing it. And it's about their chocolate bars breaking. Like, I could understand if you're like, I have no food and my kids need to eat. I'm getting that food. Understandable, you know? There are certain scenarios where I understand that. This bitch is talking about second fucking rate chocolate bars falling off the shelf.
The footage. And so I did a bunch of just data, and so there's a company called Acosta where you can pay people to go into Walmart. So then I started paying where every week I would send someone into every single Walmart in America to buy all the broken bar.
I don't know what to say besides I really don't like Mr. Beast, and the more I hear him speak, the more I don't like him. You know, this is not normal. This is not business. This is nothing besides some kind of a obsessive compulsion, I believe. And again, I'm not a licensed therapist. Don't take any of my advice. Jesus Christ, I'm a sarcastic YouTuber who does live streams every weekday. Hit subscribe. I'm just trying to give you some insights. But what really haunted me about this clip, where he's like, everybody's telling me it was illegal, and I said, I don't care. I need to find out why my chocolate bars are falling off the shelves. I'm going to film everyone. I don't care. I'm hiding cameras to film them. Like, to me, there's not a huge leap from that to doing I don't know what. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the passion he addresses this with, and the seriosity, new word,
and it would just fall off the shelf, and then they just put it up, and some of the bars would be broken, and it would just happen over and over and over again because we didn't engineer the boxes correctly. They didn't do anything wrong.
Do you know how atypical that is, what you just said? That you put GoPros...
Yeah.
Listen to how passionate, serious, how noble he thinks it is. He truly thinks he's the noble one for overriding anybody to tell him this is illegal. You would have thought he was saying, I gotta feed my family.
People told me I was crazy. The amount of people who tried to tell me that was illegal, I was like, bro, I don't fucking care. I just need to know when my bars are breaking. Like, don't delete the footage. And so I did.
It's got to be something. There's got to be something to be said about Mr. Beast going on all these podcasts, and because he's Mr. Beast, he's giving his time to share these stories. This is what I call the Tim Dillon effect. Tim Dillon said this to Joe Rogan's face when Joe was like, I've gone to dinner with Peter Thiel, and Tim Dillon, I think, surprised Joe. And he's like, yeah, Peter Thiel's invited me. I've said no because I need to be able to criticize him, and I don't feel like going to dinner with him is going to allow me to keep that distance. I love Tim Dillon for that. You know, there's a lot I don't like about Tim Dillon. He's a grifter. He's just in it for the money bag. But that's one of the things where I'm like, yo, That's a good value to have. And I think a lot of people forget that, you know, when Mr. Beast does a podcast or an appearance or anything outside of his, I'm going to steal other people's ideas, duplicate it on YouTube and pretend like it's my own. Anything outside of that, you know, like Mr. Beast is gifting himself to the world. He's a high value fucking, you know, person that he just can't share his time. He's got to do, you know, 2-second edits to give every little kid in America seizures. So you forget that, like, this dude is going into places where people aren't going to. Like, listen to the podcast host just laughs, you know? And I think anybody that's doing interviews, like, I don't, you know, I've done them. But I think anybody that's worth their salt at some point would be like, is there anything you, like, wouldn't do to further your business? You know, keep it friendly and light and open-ended, but just be like, is there, you know, if you had to kill someone, would you? I mean, is there anything you would just not obsessive compulsively do to find out why your chocolate bars are breaking? You know? I think, like, I don't know, call me crazy, but I just think that's like a good follow-up. Not like, okay, you just don't care about laws because you $1 trillion. You just don't care. It's so normal. Anyways, so what's the next video, Jim? You know? Maybe this is why I don't, you know, I don't get invited to the Mr. Beast podcasts. But I think people forget that, like, Mr. Beast is living a life of privilege, truly. It's, you probably hear people say to him all the time, it's a privilege to have you here. It's a privilege this, it's a privilege that. And what he doesn't understand, it's not their privilege, it's his privilege. He doesn't have to live in a world of rules, laws, illegality, anything fucking he wants done is done. That's what he's telling you. That's a scary thing, to think a human can cumulatively get to a point where they're openly admitting, I don't care what laws we broke. I had chocolate bars falling off the shelves. You know what I mean? Like, this is almost a parody level fucking psycho. Like, this is something you'd see in, like, I don't know. What's that show I didn't watch with the bald guy that was friends with Seinfeld? I don't know what it's called. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Fuck, I'll look it up. God damn it. Show friend of Seinfeld? I don't know what to say. Actor. Where's the show of that guy? No, not Seinfeld. What's the Seinfeld Friends guy's show? Does anybody know? Everybody know what I'm talking about? It's like that show with that guy, and he's bald. Larry something? Larry something. Oh, hold on. Larry David. Curb Your Enthusiasm. I got there. Thank you, Primal Thorn. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Thank you, guys. I thank you very much. Jason Alexander? No, that's what YouTube said to me, too. They're like, are you talking about Jason Alexander, Seinfeld's friend? I'm like, no, like the off-screen friend. And then he did a show that was kind of like Seinfeld, but it was on HBO. I don't get any of that shit. I've never watched Seinfeld, don't like Seinfeld, never liked Seinfeld, never even got into Seinfeld. And Curb Your Enthusiasm, like, I get it's funny, but again, I don't know. This feels like it could be on Curb Your Enthusiasm, where, like, you know, Larry David keeps saying, sorry, my pants keep riding up, and it's just, I got to do the adjustment. I'm very sorry. I don't mean to do that on my live stream. I really don't, but sometimes you got to adjust. Big, beautiful obituary. Oh, God, I cannot wait. But this seems like this audio I'm playing of Mr. Beast truly seems like this could be a Curb Your Enthusiasm.
And then she'd be looking at it literally like this, and then you just see the box just go, and she'd go.
Like, in a decent timeline, like, we'd be watching this with, like, JCS Criminology narrating over it. They were like, and this psycho is so focused on why his chocolate bars were breaking in the store, he was willing to forego any fucking crimes to get his answers. And then when he found the little kid that knocked the box over, he buried him deep in the wood. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things. And I feel like LinkedIn is like, you know, still clapping about this interview. They're like, and every businessman should really just be breaking any laws that get in their way, you know, and just saying it's for the business. Like, this is what you're ushering in capitalism. You understand that, right? And they're doing it anyways. They're doing it, just so you know. Like, they're totally doing it. Here we go. They're totally doing it. Trump administration approved 3 new forever chemicals-based pesticides last week for use on food crops, including corn, soybeans, the most widely grown crops in the country, as well as wheat, kiwi, oats, peas, broccoli, and coffee. New chemicals, and they don't grow coffee in America, do they? Are we growing coffee in America now? Or are we just importing it and then spraying the shit with chemicals? New chemicals, I'm not trying to pronounce those, have all been quietly approved without standard press release. Trump approved the other PFAs based pesticides. I'm not trying to pronounce those either. Earlier this year, the first food use of chloroquine, whatever, is already found in 90% of Americans' blood. Oh, I'm sure it's healthy. EPA scientists wrote in the approval documents that at least one of these new PFAs based pesticides suggested evidence of carcinogenic potential. Gives you cancer. These approvals just come days after the Supreme Court sided with the chemical maker Bayer. We've already talked about that, but this is what I'm talking about. These chemical makers are like, we don't care what the fucking laws are. We got to sell these chemicals, bitches. And these chemicals are good for your food, good for your body. Makes your bones grow lumpy. You know, they should just do posters like milk. You know, milk does body good. They should be like PFAs forever, bitches. Makes your body grow lumps all over. Don't worry about it. You know, the big PFA mustache on it, you know. So when I hear Mr. Beast saying, like, I will break any law to find out why my chocolate bars are the way they are, and I hear people saying he's like a good business boy, I think of this shit immediately. I'm like, are these good business boys corrupting our government to not protect and serve the people, but protect and serve the chemical makers? It's the same parallel. Just Jimmy cares about chocolate bars. You know what I mean? It's just that simple, folks. It's just that simple. This guy, if he made chemicals, you don't think he would be selling your children chemicals? He just cares about chocolate bars right now. That's it. That's the only difference. He just happened to go into chocolate bars. We gotta have some fun. I can't end like that. His chocolate could have Roundup in them. There we go. There we go. Thank you for circling it back. You know, why doesn't he do a part? You know, what do they call it on YouTube? He should do a collab. He's like, yo, this is the Mr. Beast collab with Bayer. We're bringing you Roundup bars, bitches. Get it for your kids. Daddy Ilo, I do have a Discord. The link in the chat is very old, so I'll have to get you a new one. I'll have to get you a new one. But yeah, we have a Discord. They've been doing things like this for years, but more hidden. Now it's out in the open because Trump has made it possible for them to get away with it. Who said that? Star Charlie 7. Please hit subscribe. I like that kind of talk. Talk truthful to me, baby. I'm joining All My People's Discord today. Cool. Cool. Smoking's back. All right, guys. I really don't like to leave it on that kind of note. So you know what I'm going to have to do? You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to get my video non-moneyed. Give me a second. This is how we're going to end it. Tell me if you can hear this. I think that's all I can play. Tell me you heard that. I've been trying. Yes? Okay. Thank God. Because I've been trying to play music on this thing. And everybody's like, I can't hear it. What's up, Dusty? Good to see you. It's not fair to deny me of the cross that I bear that you gave to me. You, I don't know. I'm going to listen to that and cook some supper. You heard it. I love you all, even the people who hate me, who hate watch me. I love you too. I want you to have free healthcare, free rent, like the president said. You know, praise be to Allah, whatever the fucking president said. He'd be the greatest communist. Okay, prove it. You know, how did nobody in the crowd say, prove it? So even the people that hate watch me, I still don't want you to have to pay a copay ever for your healthcare. I still love you. Thank you for hate watching. And thank you to the people who do love watch me. Is love watch a thing? I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Appreciate you guys. I'm working on doing some more things, especially for the members. So members, make sure your notifications are set to all, because what I'd really like to do is do a little pre-show with just you guys, just the members. A little pre-show. A little fucking who knows where we're going to go, but we're going to go there. Watching from the UK. Have a good night. Appreciate you, Star Charlie. Make sure you hit subscribe. Set the notifications to all, so across the pond they'll say, bing, bing, he's on. All right, guys. Much love, much appreciation. Be kind to one another, all right? Not people like this, you know. Set them straight. Set them on a better path. Be like, this is a major issue you have. Are you in therapy? You should do some counseling, man. Like, this isn't normal. You shouldn't be filming people in a fucking Walmart to find out where your chocolate bars are falling off the screen or falling off the whatever it's called, the shelf. It's not normal, my friend. He needs somebody who cares for him. Because if you care for somebody, you tell him that. Take care, Thorne. All right, guys. Much love, much respect. Until tomorrow. Peace.